Hi guys, Jay Smith here, welcome to the AskGolfNut channel, and today we're going to be busting a myth, or confirming something at least, on the classic understanding of how far do you hit your 7-iron, and the old school 150 yards 7-iron idea. How fast do you actually need to swing to hit 150 yards with a 7-iron? And remember, not all 7-irons are made equal. They do ranging loft from as strong as something like 27 or so degrees all the way down to the more now modern day traditional of 34. So I've got three clubs, well I've got more than three clubs, but I've got three specific clubs next to me, and they range between 27 and 34 degrees, and we're going to go hit them individually at different speeds to understand at what point you need to swing speed-wise to hit that magic 150 yards. And we've got the three golf clubs to put to bed once and for all how fast, with what degree of 7-iron you need to hit 150 yards. Simulator is now on. We are at Beaver Hills hole 4. It's a par 3 of 156 yards to the pin. However, we have got plenty of green at the front to work with, so when we dial speed around, we've got a little bit of wiggle room. So let's go see if we can swing around about 70 something or so miles an hour, how it gets on. .77, that's going in like a rocket. Cool, look at that thing go out the back, fair enough. 159, good strike. So really very, very good strike. We'll take that all day long. And it's going in at 40 degrees descent angle with a perfect hit. Absolutely perfect hit. I'm not going to get any better than that. I mean, face was 0 to a path which was slightly to the inside. That's why it's gone out to the right slightly, because my path was going that way. Face was plumb on and strike was dead on. Dial speed down a little bit, see if we can get to 150 yards. 74. Ooh, that's so running out the back. Yeah, that's never going to stop. Decentish strike again. Delivery is very, very good. What's that doing? 22 yards in the air, 39 degrees descent angle, and that's a very, very, very good hit. But it's going 153 yards, so that's 74 miles an hour. What exactly is it? 74.5. So I reckon you could possibly hit this at 70. Yeah, 74 miles an hour I think is possibly the number. Maybe 73.8, but it's effectively for carry purposes. There you go, there's a miss. Didn't even get the speed I was hoping for either. Let's do it again. That's low and slightly heely. So dumb it down even more. I don't know if I do, that's the problem doing 74 miles an hour. Yeah, I reckon so. 74, 73, you may be able to. That's going out the back though, 153. So yeah, we're looking at around about 74 or so miles an hour for 150 carry. Now obviously that's going to green now, 21 yards in the air and 38.5 degrees descent angle. That is not stopping. So even if I did hit it slightly shorter, that's not stopping only green, that's just running straight out the back. So even though that's carrying at 153, to do total distance, you'd have to then dumb it down more than that. Let's see if I can just hit one shot where I can get 150. Right. There we go. Oh, I thought I was going to hold that. Stop ball. Stop ball. Stop, please. Please stop. Wow. Clubhead speed 71.6, little baby draw. It's going 16 yards in the air and 34 degrees descent angle. And as you saw there, it landed at 142 and had a good 20 of run on it. And I landed it on the green. If you land that short, that is going to possibly run through it. So you can hit a 7-iron at 27 degrees, around about 150 yards carry, at about 74 miles an hour or so. And if you then go down to 71 point something, whatever that was, what was that? 71.6, you can carry to 142, but you've got to then swing even slower than that if you're thinking about getting it to 150 total, because obviously it's going to be coming in short and then hopefully I'm bouncing on. It's very, very difficult when you're going into total distance, because depending on conditions, yeah, carry you can always rely on. Right, let's go over to a 31 degree head now to see what difference loft makes and see what difference speed-wise also makes to get that magic 150 yards. So I have got a 31 degree lofted 7-iron in my hands, and again, no different to the 27 degree lofted 7-iron, it's more of the game improvement side. So we have as much help as we possibly can do getting the golf ball up in the air. Now, if you go to a bladed version of the same, you're not going to have the same help. So I'm trying to maximize as I possibly can do, getting that golf ball up and going. Same distance. Let's go with a 31 degree and see if we can repeat the same thing. Strike was not perfect, 77 miles an hour, but the height was much better. Stop, and it's stopping on the green, look. That's an interesting one. Carries 151, slightly heely contact, but the loft is coming up, so the launch is coming up, peak height is coming up. Descent angle's now at 44.8 degrees. So as you can see, the difference is dramatic, that you can now stop it on the green. When it comes to the 27 degree lofted head, you're really struggling to get that golf ball to stop. You can make it the distance, definitely, and you can go and do the 150 yards carry with as little as 74 miles an hour. With this, you have to go to about 77 miles an hour, yeah, 77.2 on the quad, but it stops. It's basically matching the same carry, but you've got so much more control. And that's the difference that you're going to get with loft. So the big thing for this is people think as they really slow swing, as they really swing slower, there you go, they need more and more aggressive lofted 7-irons. You've got to be careful, because the problem with getting something more and more aggressive is that it goes in like a ballistic missile. So going into something like this, which has still got the same amount of help, this is a high launch head. It gives you the higher launch, gives you the peak height, and also, as you can see, it gives you the stopping power that you need. So 151 was basically perfect on the first hit. Let's go give it another go. Ah, that's a miss. Yep, that's not even worth. I tried to then, I didn't get anything. I tried to dial speed down, on which I didn't do, and tried to get strike, which I didn't do. That's another perfect example of what I did with the 27 degree. That's the problem about not swinging at 91 miles an hour like I normally do. It's much more difficult to get your synchronization right. 76 miles an hour. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely stopping. Oh, I had a bit of draw to it. It's going to draw. No, still stopping on the green. It's not running out the back. That was carry 153 because I drawed it slightly, so it will gain a little bit extra. But it's still going 28 yards in the air, 48 degrees descent angle. It's just doing good. Now, obviously, the second shot in between was you can miss-hit it. Doesn't matter what kind of golf club in your hand. You can swing as 76 miles an hour at 153. I reckon you could, with a 31 degree, you can go down possibly 75, high 75s to get to 150 and still stop it better than the 27 degree lofted 7-iron, because you're going to get the same distance, because we're talking about taking speed off. As soon as you add speed, you're going to distinctly see the difference in loft between 31 and 27. The 27 is just going to go further. But as soon as you start taking speed away, peak height starts to go, and then gravity takes to effect. So we are talking about like senior speeds and slow-ish amateurs that require the help you get from a high launch or something like that head. Right, so let's go get a 34 degree lofted 7-iron, a more traditionally lofted 7-iron, and do the same experiment. Right, so in my hands now, I have a 34 degree lofted 7-iron, but it's a blade. It is a good old fashioned traditional iron. Hasn't got the help that you're going to get with the other two, just to showcase another example of such. And we're going to try and do the same experiment, swing it around about the same speed, and see if we can get results we get. And I have got another option down the side, as you can see, which we'll get into in a sec, because that is an option I think a lot more golfers should actually use. Well, that's a pretty good example to start with. I'll take that all day long. Right, there you go, job done on that one. And it's stopping, there we go. So now we got 34 degree lofted 7-irons. Delivery was pretty good, slightly drawy, slightly high in the face as well. Carry's gone down to 145, and we are talking at 76.1 miles an hour. So we're very, very close to what the 31 degree lofted 7-iron. We are now going with even a slightly higher on the face shot and a bit more over drawy. So that was a bit drawing itself. As soon as you start drawing it, You'll get a bit more distance, but you'll take a little bit of spin off, etc., and also a bit of loft off as well. So it won't go as high and it won't stop as much, but that's still stopping at 45 degrees, and that will stop on any green. But we're talking about loft now. So we are now not hitting it as far. We are now getting very much so closer to the total distance of 150 because we're stopping on the green a little bit shorter and then rolling on that distance. Now that's perfect. Slightly high on the face, but it's just about perfect. I cannot hit a better shot than that. Well, maybe a 3 or 4 mil low on the face, but you kind of get the idea. 5 mil high, half is perfect. Club head speed 76.3, so we're talking about that 76 miles an hour. Carry again 145 and descending at 46 degrees, 28 yards in the air, the highest so far I believe, and we're just getting more control. And the difference between 145 yards to total distance 152, we're getting that because of the loft. Now, this is a blade. So guys, don't rush out there and buy blades. Why? Because this has got no forgiveness whatsoever. If you hit this around the face that you go into, because individuals, as golfers, we all hit over the face from time to time. And as you get better, you hit less over the face, but we all still do. And so this is not going to give you any help whatsoever. So I wouldn't necessarily say to jump out and buy a set of blades. But what we can do, I have got in my hands over here, which I will have now, I have got a hybrid head, which is an iron. It's the 11 hybrids, well, from 11. 7 iron, which is 31 degrees. And I'm going to show you now, very similar to the 31 degree lofted high launch. Let's go flick over data sets and show you what happens when you get a hybrid head involved. Data set has now changed. We're at the same hole, different golf club. I've got the 11 hybrid in my hands. Now, yes, this is a hybrid, and there have been manufacturers that have been making hybrid irons as such for quite a while. This is a proper, good old fashioned hybrid head. And I honestly think that most golfers, or more golfers at least, should consider an iron choice like this. It just adds so much help and forgiveness. This has got roll and bulge, an iron has got a flat face, so you're not going to get the same forgiveness from an iron that you can get naturally from a hybrid head. Center of gravity is lower and further back. It's going to help launch. And what I'm looking at here is the relationship between carry and total distance. This thing will stop so much quicker because of the nature of its design. Not the greatest of shots in the world, and a little bit fast, shall we say. Yeah, carry's going up, but look at the stop that's got. Now that is carrying very close to the edge of the green, but look at the descent angle, 48 degrees. Let's dial speed down a little bit more. But the height you're getting on that, 31 yards in the air. Nothing as yet has ever hit 31 yards. Nothing has ever as yet got to a point of stopping at 48 degrees descent angle. That's what you're going to get from a hybrid. Well, that's left. That's me trying to guide it. Slowed the body down, the hand just kept on going. 154, so again, too far. 77 miles an hour, so getting within half a mile an hour or so of what I was with the high launch, and also the 34 degree lofted head. 44 degrees, see, look at that. 44 degrees descent angle. That, if I was to hit the green, was stopping on any green. That's the benefit you're going to get from a hybrid. Okay, if you're going to point the face left or right, within reason, that's where the ball's going to go. But that's not a bad shot. We're talking about high handicap golfers, for example. That is not a bad shot. That's just in the rough with loads and loads of green to work with. It's just a good shot. That's not. That's, I'll tell you what, that's done really well. It's done so good. And that's the benefit you're going to get through these things. You can hit a shot that bad. I mean, that was floor, that was toey, 11 mil toe, hit the ground first fractionally, overshot. It's 12 foot away from the pin. Carrying 147 and still stopping on the blooming green. And that's probably one of the worst shots I've hit so far. And 44 degrees descent angle. Yep, that's what you're going to get from 11 hybrid heads. That's a better hit, but low on the face and slightly heely. Slightly quick again. But look at that doof and stop. Boof. Just stops where the other ones just roll on. 6mm low, 5mm heel, I could feel that. Face is pretty good, slightly fast again. I'm finding it difficult to slow down a little bit. So 45 degrees ascent angle, you're gonna get, this is just gonna stop. So the moral of this story, guys, right, I'll put that to one side. Now, you don't need massively cranked golf clubs to hit that 150, especially if you're someone who's going, say, 27-degree lofted 7-irons. They are going to promote a really flat flight, and you will hit your 150. The problem you're going to have is going to come into a green massively like just a ballistic missile trajectory, and it's going to roll. And so you're going to have to start thinking about, or you may not even be thinking about it consciously, but you may already be pitching it short of the green and then bouncing it, running it on to get to your distance. And you could quite easily hit your 7-iron 160 yards in that case, but it's going to have very little control because you're not going to be having stopping power on the green. You're going to have to hit it short. And when you hit it short, you're hitting into surfaces where you can't necessarily predict what's going to be. Is it going to be soft? Is it going to be hard? Or hit a sprinkler head cover or something like that. If you hit it on the green, then you've got some modicum of control. Problem is we're doing it 27-degree lofted 7-irons at the speed you need to get to 150. You can't stop it and it goes through the green. So you then go to a high launch head, and there's plenty of manufacturers nowadays that have got the high launch head. I've got the JPX 923 hot metal high launch in my hands for the test, but effectively many other manufacturers make them. And you can see straight away, it just launches it higher. For the same speed, it launches it higher, still within reason, within a yard or two, still hits the same number. But the difference mainly is you're getting more control. You can now launch this one onto the green with the thought of it being able to stop. You go over to the blade, effectively just trying to, for a bit of fun for the loft side of things, 34 degrees of loft. This will outdo everything when it comes to just pure loft. It will get the ball going high and stuff like that. The problem is you haven't got the faces that the other ones have got, and it won't get the distance. It's doing a decent job, but you're going to have to start swinging faster with this to properly do the same job that you can really do with something like that. Now, you've got the irons there and the iron choices there if you want to go down the irons, but I would seriously get you guys to consider the thought process around the iron, which is a hybrid, and the hybrid, which is an iron, because of the sheer benefits you get from it. And they're just unmistakable. You can hit them worse on the face and get away with it. The center of gravity is lower and further back, so it just launches the golf ball higher. It's just more forgiving, more helpful, more enjoyable. So yes, you dial up speed and you're easily going to be able to hit 150 yards, but the general rule is this. You need to be swinging, I would say, at least 75 miles an hour or so to have a chance of hitting 150 yards and stopping it. You can swing slower, say with a 27-degree lofted 7-iron, but it will run out the back, and you've got to be careful then. So you've then got to have to then hit it shorter for it to roll through, and it adds more guesswork. You can get there with loft, but then you have to swing faster as soon as you start adding more and more and more loft, which obviously people can't just swing quicker. But if you want the best of every world, going to something like a hybrid head will give you the distance that you want, and also the forgiveness that people want, with the added help of being able to stop it when it gets there. So hope you liked the video. If you did, thumbs up. Go on YouTube, like so do I. Down there is a subscribe button. It's great for the channel if you could subscribe, so thank you. And next to that is a bell icon. That's a notification bell. If you click that one, that will notify you next time I upload another video. So I hope you're well. We'll see you again soon.